You might recognize today's guest from America's Next Top Model, where at 18 years old, she began her successful modeling career. 5 years later, married the love of her life, grew out her pixie cut, and really started living life by her own standards. She began breaking industry molds by embracing her feminine curves and became a beacon of light for body positivity and all-inclusive advertising. You could see her most recent work in Playboy Magazine as Miss April. Please welcome my girlfriend, Felicia, AKA Faux Porter.
Girl, Felicia in there. Wow, that's how you know we go way back. Oh my gosh, thank you. That was amazing. I love that.
Thank you so much for being here.
Girl, thank you. I mean, it's honestly an honor to be here, and also like where you've paved the path. I feel like thank you for having me here.
Oh,
so
you're so
you.
sweet. I was thinking about that when I was going through all of your stuff to get prepared for today, and I was like, so I think I met you right when you started.
I still like milk on my tongue. I was so young. I was so young. Yeah, I honestly, what was that? Probably like 2009, 2010.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was 19.
Yeah.
Like 10
wow.
years ago.
That's
10 years
crazy.
ago. I just turned 29 too.
Oh my
October,
gosh.
So, yeah. I'm like,
It's been such a joy to like see you, you know, in your career and flourish and get married and everything that you're doing now. And that's what I want to talk about. So we were talking about this, like in modeling, obviously, like I think it was funny that you consider it standard size.
Yeah, or straight size.
Yeah, straight size. There's a standard size to modeling, which was your first part of your career when you were 18. You were young. I mean, you were such a baby.
I was such a baby. And it's so crazy because I grew up in a small town. So coming from that small town to like big dogs, LA, it's like, you're like, wait, what? Like, you know, you don't know your body. You don't know that there is a standard size. You don't know that there is either your standard size or your plus size. There was never really in between in that. So that was a big thing for me when I started putting on my womanly curves.
Yeah.
So yeah, 100%, that is a thing.
Did you feel pressure in the industry before you, because I saw the moment like through social media where all of a sudden it was like,
boom.
This is me, and I think that's what's so empowering. I feel like when you, and it takes people, I mean, I'm 40 and I think I just got there.
Girl, oh my God, I wouldn't, okay, first, we'll get onto that, but yes, you do not look your age, first and foremost. You look absolutely gorgeous, so yes.
I believe that when you align with yourself, life aligns with you. And I clearly saw that happen to you. It was so beautiful. Like you were getting your Pilates certification, you got married, and you grew out your hair, and then all of a sudden you're like, here I am. And you were owning who you were.
I broke a mold of myself in a sense, because I remember I was getting so somewhat like heavy-minded, and I won't say it was particularly just the industry, but I felt like I was going into a place where I was out of control. Like I was like, I don't know where my next job's gonna come from because I am a little bigger. So the pressure was for sure there, but I did have a support system. I did have, I had a good friend who owned a Pilates studio, and she was like, look, like work is kind of slowing down. Why don't you come in and get your Pilates certification? My husband was like, do whatever you need to do to make yourself happy. Like just put it on the back burner for now, work, modeling, and do you. So once I say this, and it's lack of a better word, once I stopped giving a F-U-C-K, you know what I mean? Like that's kind of when I really felt like people were like, oh, who is this girl? Oh, she's got curly hair now. Oh,
Yeah.
So yeah, 100% I feel like growing into myself was a beautiful experience, and people really saw it for face value, and I'm so appreciative for that. So,
and that's the way marketing's going. I mean, like
so
all
nice.
Inclusive. It's so, and even as a company owner, like I'm trying to do more of that.
Oh
like,
yeah.
Can I post your picture?
Of course, go use it. Use it.
No,
I love
but I mean,
it.
I think it's I was actually thinking about this when I was 20 and I first came here and I was modeling full time. I was killing it, and then the market shifted, and as a human, I enjoyed it. As a model, I was like, shit.
Yes, I know.
Because they weren't hiring people like me anymore, because it was like white girl, blonde hair, blue eyes.
You mean. Yes,
we
yes,
need
yes.
more ethnic. We need, and
I know exactly.
My ex-husband, he was killing it because he fit that token where nobody kind of knew where he was.
And that's so true. And that was something where I think I kind of came in the right time, because I do know, like, for instance, like when I was starting to put on weight, it was more like we don't want female who's full figured yet. And I remember coming to LA when I first started and hearing, you know, blonde hair, blue eyes is not the thing anymore, which is like, to me, I feel like it's always putting these people in this box, which is so terrible. Like when I started getting tattoos, I was being put in like the edgy girl box, you know? So kind of there's always boxes that happen, and it sucks. It's really limiting, even for people to look at it. People start getting these images of like, oh, this is what this box is. This is what I should be in this box.
Right.
Where now it's like, I mean, I love it. I'm so thankful to be in this movement. I'm a pioneer, I like to say. I'm a pioneer of like the first group of girls and men and trans that are coming in that are making a positive movement and a statement that you don't have to be in the box anymore. So
And big companies are behind you. I mean, obviously you just did Playboy, which is like that's like the biggest message of being body advocate. How are people responding to that? I'm curious.
That's a good question, because I've actually gotten nothing but an abundance of amazing feedback. People have been like, thank you so much. I just did a giveaway of 2 signed copies this week, and people are like, oh, you don't know how happy I am to get this. And it's like,
it's beautiful, by the way, from what I've seen.
Thank you so much. And it's one of those things where I felt like it was the perfect timing. I have a friend, Brooke Power.
I know Brooke, yeah.
So Brooke, I always had a casting with her, and she was like, you know, when I did Playboy, it was 2 months or 3 months post-pregnancy, and I was just like, girl, like, I like that. And I was so empowered by it. I literally went home, told my husband, I was like, Playboy would be so cool to do. I'd love to do Playboy. No joke, like 2 weeks later, Playboy wrote me on Instagram. And
just happened.
Literally manifested the hell out of that. Yeah, and it was funny because I was like, I'm open to that. And I think when I said I'm open to that, like my mind and my heart kind of opened to it, and literally 2 weeks later, Playboy was like knocking on the door. So yeah, 100%, very much a crazy experience, but something that I was totally ready for. Yeah. And I embraced it with open arms, and I would love to do it again.
It's a huge step. Like, you know, it's amazing.
And Playboy's now, the header is no longer entertainment for men, it's entertainment for everyone.
I love that.
Yeah, and it's crazy. I feel like there's no longer the quintessential, like, you know, the big hair, the big blonde hair, the big boob. It was not the 90s, the stereotype, which was never, I don't think, it was just the time it was in at that time. It was never like shunned upon. Whereas now it's like they have a bald-headed girl. I think I heard there could be even like a new trans woman coming in.
Yeah, my one girgirlfriend.
Said that?
Yeah. I'm like, what's her name?
No, but yeah, I think that I just see it going so far. I actually looked, I did a Fox News entertainment interview over the phone. It released yesterday, and I read some of the comments, and that was the first time I'd ever seen a negative comment, ever. And I'm also like, and most of these people are probably men who are, you know, and I'm not stereotyping a man either, but just some of the comments were very like, oh, Playboy's just scraping the bottom of the barrel with this one. And I'm like, this obviously isn't coming from a woman in a standpoint of like, I don't think it's evolving, and people are still stuck.
And those people don't matter. Those are
no, they don't. Oh, I don't.
Those are trolls.
Exactly. I was even like, I do not pay attention to that, but that was the first time in the, I don't know, 4 or 5 months that I kind of people were kind of starting to know that I ever got like negative feedback. So hair flip to that. I don't need that, you know. So yes, it's been amazing.
I think it's amazing. I love
it. So
and you just did too, I mean, just to talk about like the big campaigns, the big companies that are getting behind this movement. And I think what's going to happen is like the pendulum is going to swing the other way. And eventually there'll be no labels, and it'll be all inclusive, and people
Real
realize
women,
we're all together, whether you're skinny or heavy or what color your skin or you're male, female, whatever it is. But you just did something for Tommy Hilfiger too.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
Tommy Hilfiger reached out to me, and basically they wanted, it's called Make It Happen. So they had like an Olympic gold medalist, they had like a top rated chef, they have all these people who are very much in the community, who are real people. So they reached out to me and they said, hey, what does, you know, body positivity mean to you? What is all that, you know, we want to know who you are. So in retrospect, they booked me to be their body advocate. So I'm a Tommy Hilfiger body advocate. And yeah, it was one of those things too that I was like, I didn't realize it was sticking so well. You know what I mean? Like it was it definitely had so much, my movement and words definitely had like an impact in the industry in a sense. So Tommy Hilfiger was definitely a really cool one. I'm a Tommy girl. I'm a Tommy girl. So it's so fun.
That's amazing.
Yes, I'm excited for it. But yeah, it just come out, and they're, I think I have some more stuff coming up with them as well. So look out for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's exciting.
You're creating a movement, girl.
Yes.
And it's so empowering and so positive, you know.
It's definitely been a great ride. I love it.
And let's talk about your jacket.
So I came in hot. I have my Selena pin right here.
I actually thought of that. Today when I pulled my hair back, I was like, I'm like a Selena Sade. Like you always do like a little.
I love to invoke my Selena, my Sade. I'm all about it. I have equal parts. But I love both of them. But this is RuPaul. She's definitely one of my biggest inspirations, 100%. I mean, if you can't love yourself, how in the hell are you gonna love somebody else? That's totally, you know, her saying. But this is like an empowered pin. So this is gonna become like a full like empowerment jacket sooner or later. But yeah, I feel like I've also, in my article in Playboy, I, you know, reflect on, I always say I'm a gay man trapped in a woman's body. So that's just my thing. And my husband's like, babe, you know you're not a gay man, right? And I'm like, says who? I can do whatever I want. But yes, I 100%, Gwen Stefani and RuPaul are two of my hugest big advocates in my life. So I love, you know, coining their phrases and all that.
Yeah.
So that's why I have a big Ru on my shoulder. But yes.
I love
but I also have to say with you, I feel like you 100% when I was, you know, as a young model, I feel like whenever I would go to Kohl's, we'd shoot Kohl's together. Can we plan on, we're plugging Kohl's here? But when we'd shoot it, I remember going through a really dark time, and I was so excited to see you. Like I knew I was gonna be in the same room with you, getting ready. And I remember talking to you about like a breakup I was going through, and you totally gave me so much words of encouragement. And I remember, I think I was going through a funk couple years ago, and I reached out to you and I was like, can you give me like some type of insight on what I should be looking for? And you told me, you were like, maybe going back to your dancing roots, going back to what made you happy as a child. I should reflect on that, and I did, and I got back in a dance class, and like I got Pilates, and it's wholeheartedly like that's 100% who you were. And so when you asked me to be on here, I was like, duh, like I would love to be. Yeah, so
I love that.
You helped me out a lot
Thank you.
In my younger years. So
well, it comes full circle because now you're inspiring so many. And
I'm super happy to be doing this.
I'm so grateful.
I'm excited with it. But other than that, it's been.
So I want to get a little bit deeper into body positivity and like what kind of advice can you suggest for maybe, I don't even think models, just young girls. I mean, I think with social media, and there's so much going on right now with, you know, imagery and imagery and comparing.
Oh God, that's the worst.
Yeah, what kind of advice would you give young girls or young boys, anybody?
I mean, I'm a whole person. Like I think male, female, trans, whatever you identify with, I love to speak to those type of people. It's not just models. Because the models are in general real people as well, you know? So I feel like for those people, for everyone, being who you are, being true to yourself, being just cutting out the comparison as much as you can. Because I think that's where we get caught up, truly. Cause I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Sometimes I'll be like, oh, and then I'll reach back and be like, I'm where I should be right now. Let the you know, negative thoughts not be so complicated in the head. But I think for 100% it's just giving yourself a break. Just taking time for yourself. I think people don't do that enough, but I 100% think that giving yourself a break, not being so conscious of what the next thing is or who's doing better or what she's wearing or what he's wearing.
There's a bit of FOMO. Everybody's got the
everybody has
they're
FOMO.
Missing out on something. Fear of missing out, if you guys know what that means.
Yes.
Yeah, social media encourages that.
Yes. And I feel like people are like, oh, you know, they're going to Coachella, or oh, how do they have all this money to do this? And there's a facade. And once you get past that facade and understand that you are where you're supposed to be, and if you're not where you want to be, then do something about it. You know, like I was not where I wanted to be. And I finally was like, you know what, I'm going to put my modeling career on the back burner just for a bit and focus on myself. So I got my certification. I put myself there. I put myself into something bigger than myself than I was, what I was putting myself in the box, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think just taking time to just really focus on who you are and finding that center line is 100% the best advice I can give, because if you keep trying to like layer that on like that, okay, I have to have the car, I have to have the makeup, it just starts getting too much.
Oh, and you can never keep up with it.
No, and it's materialistic.
Yeah.
It's just, I think that's when when I got married and I realized like my life is my family, like I really started focusing on my husband in a sense of like, he's the greatest. He's super headstrong. He's always making something. He's making these big concrete pots right now. And it's like, he's someone I've never ever seen get caught up on everybody else. I've never seen him get like super conscious on what's happening on Instagram. He just does things for himself, and that makes him happy, So I think that's what it is doing something for yourself and being happy about it.
Yeah.
So
I think it's so important.
It's very important. And I also, just being you and taking time, that's where I'm at. And I'm loving it.
I agree. I don't think you can ever be successful trying to be somebody else or trying,
Exactly.
Everything comes from within, and once you embrace who you fully are, then everything else is able to flourish.
It falls into place. I just had my Saturn's return, the return of Saturn. Do you know what that is? Okay, so it's like
astrology?
Yeah, in a sense, but it is. Well, it's when you're born, Saturn's in a certain spot and it comes back around. There's like usually a shift in people's lives. I think between the age of 28 to 31, it's like this whole, mine just happened during my last birthday, and you can look it up and stuff. And I'm telling you, it's a real thing. It basically, I felt like this whole body positive movement shifted in my life, and it was so surreal, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. When Playboy hit me up, I was like, this is it. This is where this is the path I was meant to take. This was
because doors open.
Yes.
When you align.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not just that, I was at a retreat this past week, and someone had said every room you walk into, you're meant to be in that room. Like that room was like every door that opens and the room you walk into, that's where you're supposed to be. And I think it's like I walked in here, and it's like, you know what I mean? It's like
I'm here.
I walked into McDonald's. I'm here, But I mean, in a sense of like, I just feel it's so true. Like once wherever you're at is where you're supposed to be, and whether you're growing from it or you're solid and you know what your next step is, I just think it's a beautiful thing to have that kind of gut feeling.
Yeah.
So
what is your next step? What do you want to do?
Oh, I've been asked this. Well, I would love to be Playboy of the Year 2020.
Oh, yeah. We got to put some good vibes on that.
Yes, I'm manifesting, and it's one of those things again where I can't get to like I'm going to get it because there's 11 other girls, who are just as much capable of doing the same.
How did they choose that?
I honestly think they probably have someone in social media who kind of goes through and they can tell when a girl could hold it, you know what I mean? They own it. I think they're looking for way more of women who are empowered by themselves. Instead of being like open casting call. I mean, that's probably totally a thing, and that's 100% probably how they get some of the girls. But I mean, more or less, they probably go through people who've been doing this, who have thick skin, you know what I mean? Who kind of know who they are and themselves. So I think that's kind of how the process goes. But I think they came across me. I did like a risque photo shoot, but I was owning all of it, and I love being in my like naked body. So yeah, I think that's kind of how it popped up. But
what do you say to the women or the people? I feel like this comes more from women that do judge you when you choose to not be modest and be comfortable in your own skin.
I had this saying, and I don't want it to sound too like aggressive, but until the day you can look at your own self in the mirror, like don't come at me, or meaning like don't, when you can look at yourself in the mirror, don't come at me. No, I mean it more in a sense like when you can look at yourself in the mirror and have that confidence and own who you are and know that you are who you are, know better than anybody else, but you are you. That's what I mean. Like, don't come at me. Like, until you can look at yourself and be like, all right, I got this, I don't think anyone would ever come at anybody else for loving who they are.
Yeah.
If you're truly happy with who you are, you know? So I think those are people who may still have insecurities, may have that like competition still in their mind. But that's what I mean is like, until you're there, like, don't try and take this happiness away from me. Because this is, I mean, I want to share this with the person who does have those negative thoughts or who does compare themselves, you know? So.
And I think the intention behind it is what shifts it as well.
Yes. Yes.
But there's still people that just see it as, you know, a shame or, you know, the negative stereotypes that are when a woman poses naked. They don't find it empowering. Although there is this huge movement that has been definitely, I think, started from social media about, and I'm all about it too. It's like goddess and sisterhood, and female empowerment.
Yes.
If you want to run naked in the field, go do it. Yeah, that's how we were born.
Yeah, that's
you know?
exactly how, and that's how I feel about it. It's 100% like we just get so caught up in our head. So I feel like when you do have that connection with your body, it's one of the most amazing feelings. And I keep saying the word empowering. I even have it on my jacket, but it's like I say it, but it's such, I'm passionate about that feeling. I'm passionate about not just me feeling it, but other women, other men, young women, young kids. It's like, I mean, obviously appropriate age, but I'm saying in a sense of it, I just feel like if you have this yearning to release yourself in a sense, then why not do it? You know, why not use your body as the greatest instrument you will ever own? Use it in every which way you can, and don't be afraid of it or what people think of it. It's the greatest gift you'll ever own in a sense. So I don't think that you should limit yourself, but by what everyone else is saying or doing, do you and flourish. So,
I think that's interesting, though. You talk about like age appropriate because I'm a mom. He's going to be 15.
I know. I was going to say, how old is he?
Yeah, he's going to be 15.
Oh my goodness.
But he grew up. I'm a hippie.
Yes.
Like he grew up, you know, in a totally different environment. But his peers maybe not so much. And I find it disheartening that, like if you go to Europe, for instance, and you go to beaches and moms are topless and nudity is seen as beauty, advertising, Chanel, all these, you know, couture, it's just part of it. And it's not seen as like this. And here in America, nudity is like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But at the same time, these same kids are playing video games where they're cutting each other's heads off, shooting each other in the face.
Oh my goodness.
And I'm seeing this as a mother. I see this, you know, and I'm like, wow.
Like the balance.
Yeah, this is really fascinating.
It's so true because my husband is, he plays some video game. It's like, I don't know if it's not God of War. It's one of those, Call of Duty, one of those games that's like obviously super aggressive.
Yeah.
And there's times where I'm even watching him play and I'm like, babe, this is intense, and there's like screaming in it. And I'm like, but there's kids playing this games. But yeah, there's a side boob on Instagram
and it's like,
and
oh my God.
like, oh my gosh, speaking out. I think it's one of those things that I did have, I had an interview and they asked, you know, how would you share this to your children? Because I do want kids, you know, later on. And I mean, I would show them with pride. I'm going to be like, this is you. Like, this is, be as happy as mom is in this photo. You know what I mean? Like in those photos that I have, I'm happy, I'm smiling, I'm frolicking, I'm being me. So I would never limit my children to not being themselves. Of course, age appropriate. Like I'm not trying to like show them, you know, old school, maybe Playboy or Penthouse or anything like that. But I think doing it in the most appropriate and very open-hearted way. My mom never limited me growing up. Whether it was religion, whether it was boyfriends or girlfriends, you know, like it was never anything where she was holding me back from being who I truly was, who I truly am. And I think that's where it got me to now. She was always telling me, don't say you can't because you can. Weak women say they can't, and you're not weak, so you say you can. You know, it's like embedded in my head. So back to the whole, you know, video games versus, you know, nudity, I just think there's two different, obviously, like pedestals there in a sense, you know. But for me, being nude and being confident with who you are is one of the best gifts you can give anybody, you know, a child or someone you don't know. So
for them to look up to,
for them to look up, to know that it's okay, to know that it's not shunned upon, to know that you can be absolutely who you want, naked or clothed, you know, there's no limitations to that. So I love it so much.
I'm so excited for you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. It's been a great experience, and I don't know where I'm going to go to next, honestly. I don't know what's next. I just know that I would love to have kids, and I want to keep this going, keep the modeling.
Oh, that's going to be amazing. Pregnancy modeling is so fun.
I see, and you did pregnancy modeling, right? And my agents are like, we can get you into pregnancy modeling, don't worry. And I'm like, that's a whole other ballpark that I'm so excited to try out. So.
I made more money in the last 3 months of my pregnancy than I did my whole career.
See?
Yeah.
Okay, well, good to know. Yeah. Okay, Nico's like at home, like, all right, babe, let's start.
Yeah, I was like, I felt like a chipmunk. Like I was like, let me just store all these nuts so I can chill once the baby comes.
See, that's exactly, my husband wants babies like yesterday. So
You're going to be fine.
I know.
I always say babies come with their own bank accounts.
See? Well, I'm like, if I can get a baby who can, model, I mean, I don't, we'll
it's
see.
It's a whole nother can opening there.
Well, your son does he does modeling?
Yeah, he did. He did his first job at 6 weeks. We did like Fitness Magazine.
I remember seeing him in like J. Crew or something.
He did J. Crew. Yes. He's done everything. Ralph Lauren, all that. He's done more stuff than I have. Yeah.
He's so beautiful though.
Thank you.
Yeah.
But I want to ask you, I ask all my guests, and you could just tell me whatever comes to the top of your head. What is your golden secret?
My golden secret is my sense of self and my sense of pride, and not like egotistical pride, but the pride I have a flame. Like right as we're talking this right now, I felt it like that.
You have a flame, girl.
Yes.
You are a light.
Thank you.
And you feel it when you're around you. Yeah.
Thank you. And I thank you for bringing me here and letting me express that. But yes, I have to see my golden secret as probably the flame that I have within.
Ooh. I love that.
And it's funny because I talk to my therapist, and I'm like, every time I'll like touch my heart, and she's like, that's it. That's that flame. Like, do you feel it when you're talking about, when I talk about this exact, topic, I feel it and I love it and I want to be about it and I want to share it with the entire world, So.
Because it's right. It's genuine. It's all the good stuff, and you're sharing it from such a great place.
It makes me feel like I'm eating a big hot bowl of pho. My favorite my favorite food. So that's the feeling I get, is like the bowl of like just the like comfort in knowing that I'm okay and that my mind is in the right place.
You're doing amazing.
Thanks, girl.
I'm so excited to see what's next for you.
I am too.
I'm following your journey.
I'm excited. And hopefully I'll be back here.
Give me a hug.
Thank you so much.